What's up, YouTube? It's the Renaissance Daddy. Um, Happy New Year. It's been a couple weeks, and I want to go through planning, goal setting, and setting vision statements so that you start your year in the best possible way. All right, so it's been a couple weeks, actually, about 3 or 4 weeks since I actually posted anything to Renaissance Daddy, and um, I specifically took a step back, wanted to identify whether this is even a viable avenue to talk to you, if there's enough interest, if it's the content that um, is valuable, is needed, and I wanted to kind of really take it in house and see if that's what it is. And I've gotten a couple of different comments from different individuals saying yes or saying no, um, but so I wanted to make sure that we're still adding value. So with that, I sat back and I had to evaluate what we did in 2020, what worked, what didn't work, for me personally, professionally, here on this channel as well as others, and um, I came to the idea or the realization that it was mainly around planning, goal setting, which has been a huge part of my life. Most of it, or at least most of my life, has been planning. Um, because if you don't have a good plan, as we all know, you can't really succeed in the way that you need to. So I decided, hey, let's take some time. Let's evaluate what we did right, what we did wrong, how to fix it. I took time off of work, and did some things related to that. So with that, I'll go into um, when I talk about planning as a key piece. So the first time I ever ran across planning, and by the way, if you don't know, this is my very first live stream. There's nobody live at this moment, but that's okay. I'm gonna try this. Um, Try to be a little bit more off the cuff and original or raw, as well as also open it up for conversation or chatting and things along those lines. But anyway, I digress. So planning has been a key piece of my life since I was in probably seventh grade, as a little kid, and it happened when it got into the upper levels of school, when you're like you start taking multiple classes, or you got 6, 7, 8 classes in a day and trying to organize that. Well, I was doing really poorly. My mom came to me and said, hey, this is how you need to do it. And we didn't know at that moment that I had ADHD. I didn't know until I had ADHD, if you have never heard my story, until I was 42 years old. And um, my life has completely upended since then. Some good, some bad. Personally good things, and also personally really bad things. Um, but I digress. When I say that planning, that was the very first time that somebody took me aside and really went down this is how you need to plan. Now, what I've done in my life is I've expounded upon that. I've made it better. I think made it better. At least made it better for me, and it worked for me. And I wanted to kind of lay it out there. So whether you're younger or whether you're older, some of the things that work for me. If you have ADHD, um, this may work for you, right? If you're a young kid, if you're not a young kid, if you're an adult, if you think you might have ADHD but you don't want to take medicine, whatever. Planning is key. Goal setting is key. And if you don't know why, when you have ADHD, there is your time is not perceived in the same way as it is for a person who does not have ADHD. Meaning, you may look at it and go, I can do 25% of this task over the next 4 days and I'll have it done, not a problem, because you have the understanding of what those 4 days would do and how long it is before the project or the delivery. A person with ADHD doesn't really have that. They have, it's like, I would like to say, like flashes of of an adrenaline. Oh, that's done. and they'll do it the night before, or they'll do it the 2 nights before, and it crams, and it gets done because they are amazing individuals. I like to think I am, and so we go through and we kind of just make it by the skin of our teeth. So as when I was growing up older, that didn't work very well. When I got into the military as an intelligence analyst, it definitely didn't work. You couldn't just get things by the skin of your teeth. People's lives mattered or were involved. So, it's been a very key tenet of my life for most of it. And so that's why I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I kind of lost track of it. I got a little frayed at the at the edges, and I became very myopic and looking at one avenue. I needed to do this. And so anyway, so for 2021, I said, you know what? Let's go back to what works. Let's get back to planning and goal setting and making the best decisions for me and my daughter and my son. So when I say that you are planning, right? And part of planning is you're going to have goals, right? You're going to have obviously the plan to get to that goal, and then you have to have a basis to measure that goal. So I always like to say that my goals are functional. They're easy to keep track of. I wouldn't say always easy to do, but don't always bite off a big chunk. So whether you're a person with ADHD or not, it's really important to do these things. If you're a young professional, it's important to do it. If you don't know already, which you probably do. And so the other part I wanted to talk about is how do I organize? Maybe that'll help you. I personally use a bunch of different tools, from an iPad where I can write my notes into an application called Microsoft OneNote, which then is integrated to my laptop, which is then integrated to my phone, which also is integrated to my email, so that I can take an email and put it into OneNote. I can annotate with my iPad to that email on on an actual pad, so you have that tactile touch of actually writing something to help me remember, and then keeping a track of those to-do items and those lists within that one application. That's what I do. Now, there's a lot of other applications. There's like Evernote. There's notepad applications. There's physical journals. If you want the digitized thing, but you still want a pen, they actually have a digital pen that you can write on a piece of like paper, and then it digitizes that writing and sends it somewhere, and so on and so forth. You investigate what works for you, but make sure that you have your technology or your areas that really that support what you're trying to do. So make sure you have that. The other part I'll talk about is when we're planning, is talking about the type of goals. So as I was saying last year, I was very myopic. I had one goal, and I lost track of a lot of it. I took a pretty hard hit professionally. Like, it really hit me hard. Because at the core of who I am as an individual, as a person, probably much like you, I like to be liked. And I really didn't feel that, by some, and felt personally attacked. Now, as a grown man, as an adult, I also realized that relationship that fails, there's two parts of the relationship, and I bear some responsibility for that failed piece of that relationship. But it was very hard for me to deal with. It's taken me, and I'm still a little shaky, so don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't change it because it's going to make me better, because it brought me back to the roots of, okay, so now I have a plan. I know what I need to do because these are my items that I planned for. Did I organize correctly? Do I have the right technology? What's working for me? What's not working for me? These are all questions that you should be asking yourself. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's the right answer. Maybe it's different, but maybe this path, this use case or this journey helps you go through it. And so when you're setting up those goals, you have to understand what kind of goal, what do you have? Now, generally everybody hears those questions, short-term, long-term. I always have one additional goal. That's what I call uh, my immediate action goals, or um, super short term goals, or kind of thing. Those are things that I need to do within the next week, 2 weeks, maybe even that day, um, which is important to understand those things. So the short term, I like to think of 12 to 18 months. Long term, 5 years, 3 to 5 years or more, and identifying them, right? And when you do, you have to make sure that those goals are clearly attainable. And how do you do that is you have to overlay this process, or this thought process, of what's called SMART, making sure that the goals are, I have my notes here, because I do this, but off the top of my head, it's hard to remember every one of them, but it's specific, right? Or significant, measurable, and then, or meaningful, um, attainable, that's right, attainable, action oriented, and then relevant, rewarding, and time bound and trackable. So SMART. You have to make sure that you kind of overlay them, right? Because sometimes when people like with these grandiose goals or things in the atmosphere for themselves, and they don't get there, and then they get discouraged. Um, I always think it's funny. Like my son says, he's going to the gym, and he says, "Oh, well, I want to go to the gym." So I got him a gym membership. He says, "But there's so many people at the gym, and they're like lifting Volvos and whatever the case may be, right?" And I don't know I don't know if it's for me. And I go, "Okay, excuse me." And I go, "Okay, but everybody that you see at the gym now is going to be gone by the end of February." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Every year, I'm one of them. Go to the gym 30 days, 50, 45 days, and then I'm like, whew, that was good." And then you stop and something happens, and it doesn't stick, because you're trying to do the same goal over and over and over again. You got to sit down and take stock of what's worked, what didn't work, what's working, what's motivating you, what's not motivating you. Granted, we all know it takes 21 days to set a habit. So making sure that your goals are SMART. When you make sure that those goals, and you say, okay, these are the goals, and they meet the criteria. Now let's organize our goals. So we have our plan of where we want to eventually get to. That's the goal. We've overlaid SMART. We've organized. We have our technology. And after you do that, there's this item called visualizing your goals, or vision boards. And I'm going to read it specifically from Psychology Today. It says, a vision board turns out vision boards put your goals on paper in a visual format that can easily that can make it actualizing it and easy to achieve. The notion is referred to as manifestation, i.e. from Psychology Today. So the first time I ever heard this story about manifestation, it was actually by Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey said he got to Hollywood. I'm paraphrasing. You can go out to YouTube, search up Jim Carrey and his story about manifestation. But summarizing, wrote a check for $10 million, put it in his wallet. Saw all these rich Hollywood people, says, "I want that." Put it in his wallet. Boom. And then 10 years later, he pulled that check out and he could actually cash it. It was like a 5 or 10 million or whatever check. I believe wholeheartedly in manifestation of your destiny and what you want. So visualizing our vision board is key to getting there. Have it in your face. Know what you want. Right? It's almost attainable. It's touching. It's something that you can touch, or it's tangible. So, excuse me. So it's important to go through that process, and it might be actually a fun process. I'm actually going to do it this weekend with my daughter. We're going to create vision boards for her as well as myself for 2021. But I didn't even know that when I was 11, 12 years old that I was creating mental vision boards in my head or I'm trying to manifest my future, my destiny. When I was 12 years old, I'd look at these big houses and I'd tell my mom, "Hey, Mom, one day I'm going to have one of those." And I'd see a nice car. "Mom, one day I'm going to have one of those." And, Mom, one day I can take care of you. Mom, one day I'm not going to let anybody hurt you. Mom, all these different things. And whether I knew it or not, I was trying to manifest them. I'm now at a point in my life where, I could take care of my family. I can do those different things. I can protect her. I can't, not that I need to, because my dad's there and he's a pretty awesome dude, but it's the idea. Now, all the different things that I manifested, but I didn't realize at 11, 12 years old that was the very first time I was manifesting my dreams, right? I was putting that stake in the ground saying, I will have this by this. Now, I also said that I would be a millionaire by the time I was 30. I'm not a millionaire. Missed that one. But hey, you shoot for the stars, you land on the moon, you're proving pretty good. You're doing really, really good, actually. So, my long-term goal, retire by 50 to 55, right in that range. And then the rest of my life to travel or explore, learn, enjoy life, right? So will I make it? I don't know. I'm going to try. But that's where you have to visualize. It takes a lot of mental practice, a lot of visualization. I didn't know I was doing it back in those days, right? Putting that picture in my head. But a lot of individuals cannot put or visualize it in your head. I actually had these, a vision board in my head. But what creating a physical vision board does, if you cannot do that, and even if you can, is it makes it tangible. You put it in a place where you can actually see it, touch it, like whether you buy your coffee, while you're desk at work, whatever it is, and every day you see it. That's where you want to be. That's what you want. And you'll get there. Come hell or high water, you'll get there. So, with that being said, I'm going to keep it relatively short today. I did say, it's been a few weeks since I've done this, actually about a month almost. But I wanted to also put my flag in the sand, so to speak, and say, okay, look, 2021, I've spent 2 weeks evaluating my previous year, the good, the bad, the ugly. And this is what I plan to do for 2021 to make sure that I don't, or do my dangest not to repeat these mistakes of the past. So the first one is I'm going to talk about my goals. And please, if you vision boarded in the past, add them to the comments below. What's worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? Because I'm telling you about vision boards, but I have always done my vision boards in my head. I've never made a tangible vision board. So if you have comments about how to create vision boards or some ideas or tips, share them. I'd love to hear about them. I'd read about them. So with that said, and then also when in the comments below, add your short-term goal and your long-term goal. And then we'll come back a year from now and we'll look at it and we'll say, okay, we made it or we didn't make it. So this is my time capsule for 2021. This is actually January 17th, 2021. And so with that, my goals, my short-term goal or my personal goal was to find a better house or to buy a house. And as it stands right now today, I might actually have one. They've accepted. I don't want to jinx anything. I'm knocking on wood. But so I'm almost there. Found a great place. My daughter will love it. I'll love it. And so that might actually be a short-term goal taken off the books. Professionally, my short-term goals are going to be around getting certified as an AWS solution architect. I'd like to have 1,000 subscribers this year by the end of 2022. Become an actual affiliate marketer, which is when I talk to you guys on this channel or on the Toro Tech or on my other channels, the equipment that I use, like here, this mic or the Scarlett or the Stream Deck or whatever it is that I'm using, if I put a link in the description and you go out and buy it, that's now another source of income, or it's a sponsorship. So working on getting that. I'm not as of yet. So if you're interested, hit me up. I'll give you a whole bunch of links to all the equipment that I have here and then you can go make your own podcast as well. Additionally, expand the scope and actually get the finishing touches on my own LLC, which is going to encompass podcasts. It's going to be product reviews, video editing, production, and basically overall production. It's going to be Jay Sanchez or Sanchez Orsini Productions, and hopefully we'll get that off the ground this year as well. Long term, from a personal perspective, get back into the healthy lifestyle. Fewer cookies, more gym time, and not just gonna go to the gym, but me go to the gym and really want to go to the gym like I used to and run and things like that. Be active. Ensure that my kids are happy and healthy, and make sure that my mental well-being is better, meaning actually love myself. And everybody says that that's kind of like, of course you gotta love yourself. I love myself. Well, when I'm saying love yourself is to the point where I'm trying to find the right words, where you love yourself for the way that you are. So I'm overweight right now, and love that. Love this. Look in the mirror. However it is, just love it. Love me. Love myself. And be okay with it. Now, if I had, kind of like if I expand upon that, then great. If I get healthy, great. But I have to start from a place of where I love myself. So that's one of the things that after the healing that happened in 2020, that's one of the things in 2022 that I have committed to doing for myself. Or not even 2022, just long-term in general, is just to begin to really love myself. Or mental well-being. From a professional level, long-term goal, it's to have 10,000 subscribers by 2025, and the last one is to have legitimate secondary income stream. And then my immediate action goals are to have a healthy lifestyle, food and gym immediately within this week, the next week, so on and so forth. One of them is already taken off. It was when I actually wrote these. It was pre-approval for a mortgage. I not only got pre-approved for a mortgage, I found a house, offered a house, they accepted a house. So now we're going through the final process. Hopefully, I'll give you guys an update. If all goes well, we'll close on the 17th of February, knocking on wood, and hopefully that goes well. And then lastly is studying for my exam. Hopefully I take at the end of this month, beginning of next month, to hopefully get that architecture certification. So those are my goals. I want to hear what your goals are. I want to see if it's if you're on the right track, if I'm on the right track, right? So add some comments. I'm also trying to see if this is still a viable avenue to go down, right? It helped me. This podcast has helped me in the end of 2020, when I was locked in the house and nobody to really talk to, and I just sat here and I talked to a camera, and that's how it all started. Actually, it started with just talking to a microphone, but then I eventually added the camera. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot. I need a lot of outlets for my creativity. This is one of them. I'm also going to be adding a poetry series to this channel. First one's going to be called The Gray Rock, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Please go on over. I'll leave a link in the description. Go take a look at it. But let me know. Is this content that you want to see? Like, subscribe, comment something, and let me identify if it's something that oh, sorry, I got a call there. Let me know if it's something that you want to continue to see, or if I need to maybe change the channel a little bit more or change. So with that being said, please, as always, hit like, comment, smash a subscribe, and hit the little bell to get notified when new updates come up. And as always, this is the Renaissance Daddy. And please remember, do better, be better, because that's right, you know better.